I haven't started and people are going away.
Sorry, I just have to support my colleague.
Okay, then it's okay. I was listening today, Professor Uli, who was saying something regarding the team, being team and design thinking. So I found here in Romania one of the best sweets I have ever tried, so I bought something for you, my dear colleagues as well. So first for the chairman, and then I'll start to speak.
You know, in our country they say you cannot buy the chair off, so you have to be impartial.
Okay. Please, thank you. Yeah, I need to start my presentation because I have 9 minutes now. Please stay. Yes. My name is Sven Maricic. I'm a professor in University of Jure Dobila in Croatia, and we just recently actually started to work in STEM area. It was 3 years ago. Oh, pufta bona. It was 3 years ago, and since then we did some of the results. I'm actually taking my students on different types of startup contests. We have won some medals and some first, second, third places. But since 2 months ago, I think, 2.5 months ago, we joined a fantastic project named Dynamic, and we met some of the very nicest people in that area of dual education. It was lots of questions, what is actually dual education in Croatia. If we compare today on our presentation, we heard that in Germany, Austria and Switzerland they have strong tradition of that kind of education. Basically in Croatia, in my part of Europe, we didn't have history and experience regarding this one. Yeah, we did have some things, but it was not until Project Dynamic came to Croatia, and now we will do some wonderful things. We started last year with one project that was trying to combine 3D printing, because I'm originally coming from 3D print area in biotech, and virtual reality. So when colleagues spoke with me and they said we need to have some master thesis and some bachelor thesis, I thought it was a good idea to try to give more experience with my students. So in the first work that was presented last week, we did one virtual reality model based on CAM data that we got from private company. And with them, we actually collaborated and we did some of the models that I will show you. And in this work, we actually was trying to compare with other works we found in literature. So, previous work was from my student Radolovic and others, and the work that we will be questioning is Alcote and von Millen. In comparison, and research methodology was that we actually take 60 students, of whom 58 fulfilled 100% of our questionnaire. 2 of them were not fulfilled everything. Oh yes, please, join us. You just missed the cakes, but don't worry. You have the knowledge here.
I already ate.
Oh, okay, you ate. Okay, good. So we actually based testing of 5-degree Likert type scale questionnaire, where 1 was I'm not at all, and 5 was I'm extremely fully knowledge to the topic. 2 main questions that was yes or no in the study were determining if how initial education, which is also important, because in these 2 days we also heard that sometimes when students are going to SMEs, they actually are not aware which type of activities they can do. Maybe in SMEs they don't have much people or assets to help the students to learn, and maybe the truth is something in between. So in order to ask the students to self-evaluate themselves, we ask them. Comparison study we did regarding our 3D model and regarding our survey that 58 of our students actually fulfilled. Participants in the traditional and VR conditions had improved overall performance. That was a very important outcome of our project with the students. We actually took 2 of them First student, she was studying ICT. She is 5th year, she graduated 4 months ago. And second colleague of her is on 3rd, and she defended a bachelor thesis. Both of them were worked in the same field of VR. So if we want to define and to say where it's good to apply virtual reality, we would say that it's a way of using computer technology to create the exact siblings or twin from the exact model that we have in, for instance, SME in some company. Why is that important? That's quite important because in our case, Holcim company was 50 kilometers from our university. In order to have a hands-on experience for our students, we built this model, and they were experiencing almost the same experience, like they were in the factory with some person who is showing them, like I'm showing to you guys without chocolates, these slides. So in order to have a shortcut for this one and not to travel every day 50 kilometers, we actually did this approach. Of course, the goal is to simulate as many sensors as possible. First of all, it's vision, then it's hearing, touch, and even smell, which is very, very important because in process industry we have different types of gases. Some of them could be potentially hazard. So one of the first model actually that we did was 3D printed robotic arm, and this is representative of CAD model of that robotic arm. And we also made CAD models of different conveyors that are actually placed in that factory. So this is a robotic arm with 4 degrees of freedom. And some of the motivation and the reasons to apply, we are in VE, vocational education, that stands for VE. Encouraging creativity, development cognitive skills, critical thinking. After this morning I will also add to some other lecturing design thinking as well, because it's a quite powerful tool. And what's the best, it's a collaboration among students, because until now they had some obligations to go to have contacts with industry, but not precise like this. And of course to gain digital competence as well. So this is our model. We were working several months on the model, and the outcome was that we gave to 60 students, possibility to, before they will give them their answers, they were exploring the whole model, they were working inside, and we had special type of glasses for them, and it became so popular that you will see on the next slides. We went to schools even with that model in order to boost children's creativity and students' creativity, and over 500 of them were amazed with our model. So on this model we have 2 conveyors, we have some other things that are important of activities in that factory, and here is shown one of the first models that we got. So if you compare this to one before, you see how much we actually evolved through activities, and I think that's the most important outcome of dual education, that you have hands-on in real company, real situation, as Hegel mentioned before, and then you have basic training in university, of course, in some laboratory. Okay, so this was also a public presentation of our work, and it was very, very interesting because some of them met with VR technology for the first time. When compared to other colleagues and literature, results are more or less in some 10 to 15% of the difference. In our work we were focused with our students aged from 18 years of age until 25, 26 years of age, and we were questioning questions regarding applying of our virtual model. Avocat and von Mullen, Norok, they were more into general terms of applying virtual reality, new technologies into the study. So, VR model impact was in both cases tested by enabling students to learn from presented model. 93% of students who learned by using VR models considered that application that it's appropriate. And I think that for conclusion I can say that it's very good of acceptance and use of this technology for UTAUT and UTAUT 2. And of course, respectively, we conclude that further investigation will be also needed for our students in future terms. Thank you very much. Mulțumesc.